So how did they get disposed of? And I got a letter a second ago, and they're there now. Fucking crooks.
Unbelievable.
Once you realize and open up your eyes. Once you realize that, open up your eyes. Hola, Tipota, everything, nothing. Hola, Tipota, everything, nothing. Hola, Tipota.
It's a winter wonderland out here right now, and I'm not sure how he's actually surviving. It'll be interesting to see. He's probably wrapped up in some blankets. It's crazy out there.
Realize, hola, Tipota, everything, nothing. Hola, Tipota. Once you open up your eyes, you will realize. Once you open up your eyes.
I'll wake the bear out of his slumber.
Kind of. How you doing?
Good. You?
Yeah, okay.
Knocked on the house, looked at the guy and said, wow, this is really authentic. And then they went upon the way until one guy, but it's probably the safest, the idea that how
I really don't want to have my imagery across the internet. Rather what I'm looking at, I think that's more interesting.
No, don't ask me to apologize. I won't ask you to forgive me. If I'm gonna go down, you come with me. Okay. Oh, I like the LED lights. That's so cool. Oh, that's so cool.
Just in case we need one.
Oh, let me get a bit more clothing on. I like the pigeons. Well, except for all the shit that they produce. I love to watch them fly from one end of the room to the other. That's really nice. If they didn't shit, or if they shit outside, I'd feel much better. Stepped in a big pile of guano just inside my door as I huddle inside from the cold. So, what I'd like to do with this room, I'd like to turn it into my event space. I've got a stage up there. These are the mezzanines I was telling you about that I'd like to see, you know, the thigh-high boots and topless girls dancing on. Because they're throughout the whole room. They're high enough. It's a good look. The ceiling here is about 40 feet, and we've got about 25,000 square feet of space in this room. Here's my CD, what's left of my CD collection. I also had a large quantity of DVDs, all gone. Anything of value was stolen, pretty much. But they didn't take everything. Even with all the stuff that has been taken, and believe me, a lot was taken, I still have more left over than most people have, than most people collect in a lifetime.
And it's a salvage.
Oh yes, I found, oh yeah, Beatles' Hard Day's Night. I managed to salvage a suitcase full of records that they had packed, hidden, but not taken out of the place. And this is the remnants of my record collection.
What a shame.
Oh yes, I had 11,000 albums and I had 12,000 books.
Crying over my burnt vinyl. What would make them be so cruel? Do they think me such a monster? Be on fire on the stake for soon. Crying over my burnt vinyl. What would make them be so cruel? Do they think me such a monster? Be on fire on the stake for soon.
I'm still trying to figure out a way to repurpose these charred remains. I haven't come up with an idea yet. So I'm afraid a lot of them are going to go to the landfill. I might take some of the albums and hang them from the ceiling and spray paint them silver or something, just to give a look. I got enough to make something interesting, but it's such a shame and so hard for me to walk through this.
You spoke about jail. I'm trying to find out exactly when you went to jail, say the month, if you remember. The month you left, and what was that time in between, like how?
Okay. It's over 2 years that they kept me away from this place.
And then while you were away from the place for 2 years...
I even made petition. I said, you know, put me under home arrest. I said, I won't leave. You can put one of those gizmos on my leg. Hell, you could put a leash around my neck. I won't go no place. I'll stay there. People will bring me some water occasionally. They'll make sure I don't die, but I'd prefer to be there with a leash on my neck or my ankle than being away from my place. Because if I'm there, I'm the security. I stop the looting. I stop people destroying my place. And I can make my place better instead of having it become worse. Not to mention the fact that the police encouraged the kids to burn down my home. You know. Okay, I can't say the police. I can say a police officer. That's more accurate. My anger does tend to spill over toward the whole group.
Here with my friend, but they just left.
Why did they just leave?
I don't know.
Where did they run to?
I don't know.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So why did you choose to come into my house and do this?
I don't know. They brought me here.
Who are they?
I don't know their name.
Where are they?
They just left.
Just went, like just...
Oh yeah, just left when I knocked on the door.
Yeah.
I'm going around the...
Yeah.
It's my place. Where should I be?
They said that they're friends with you. And apparently your name's John?
My name is John,
yeah.
So it should be somebody that I know, but you don't know their name?
Do you know Matthew?
Okay, this is a youth of today. But they've graciously offered to help me with some wood.
I saw Jim the other day. He said he was freaked out to come here. I asked him to come to at least.
Why was he freaked out to come here?
I don't know. He's always freaked out. Plus, he said his mom said if he ever comes here, she's gonna whip his ass and send Jesse after you or something like that.
Send somebody after me?
Yeah.
Send the fucking army. Come on, bring it on. That would just be exercise for me. Really.
Yeah, kind of.
Who's
No,
Jesse?
seriously. There would be holes dug.
Jim's brother.
Gonna send somebody after me. You fucking nuts. Send somebody after me. I live like this. If I can survive this, you think some kids are gonna give me a problem? Come on.
This isn't a kid.
I don't care. I had 4 guys here the other night, dressed in riot gear and balaclavas, with iron pipes, crowbars, and flashlights at 10 to 5 in the morning. 4 of them. They ran.
I wanna, yes I do. I said I wanna, yes I do. I said I want to, yes I do. I said I want to, yes I do. Saw a girl just the other day. I said real good looking, if I gotta say. I don't know why, maybe just the way she moved her hips when she sashayed. I said I wanna, yes I do. I wanna have that beautiful girl.
The charges that I was charged with, expounding on yesterday, was sexual exploitation and sexual assault. It's an interesting charge. Originally I was threatened with statutory rape, and I said, the girl's over the age of consent, and she was willing, so please, there's no statutory rape. And I said, her father was living there and approved of the relationship. I went over to her mother's place the night before this went down, and they didn't say boo. So they came up with a different charge, which was sexual exploitation. And that's when somebody
is over the age of consent, but under the age of 18, sleeping with somebody who is in a position of authority, which I was not. The Crown made the claim that I was a cult leader. And they made this claim without any investigation on the part of the police. Well, as a cult leader, I've got no followers. So you figure that's one thing you have to have if you're a leader. You gotta have followers. It goes together. Either that or he was really, really, really bad at being a cult leader. He was just a really bad cult leader. He had no followers, you know. But I think it's an integral part of being a cult leader, having followers. So I didn't have that. And after 2 years, they came to the realization that, well, they didn't really have a case against me. I hadn't really done anything wrong, and they initially offered to reduce the charges to assault with no sexual charges. And I said, but I didn't assault anybody. If she was screaming in pleasure, okay? There was no roughhousing that wasn't completely participatory on both sides. I came back November. That's when I was released. Well, I was released October, spent 2 weeks with a friend of mine because I couldn't deal with this place because it was such a fucking mess that I needed to decompress after being, you know, unshackled from my prison sentence.
Being fucked.
Well, yeah, they ended up withdrawing all the charges completely. They had no case against me from the onstart, and they did no investigation whatsoever. It was a travesty of justice, and this is truly terrorism. When someone can cry wolf, you're supposed to be presumed innocent, but you're not in the Canadian court system. You're presumed guilty. I was put into protective custody, held with rapists and murderers. Actually, mass murderers were there. I got to meet some really interesting people. Some of them threw down a good game of chess, but a lot of disturbed individuals. I'm not saying everybody in the prison system was innocent. There's a lot of people who did the crime. I didn't.
I think I'm sad now 'cause I'm not a monster, I'm a man. Ooh, did I scare you? Ooh, I think I'm sad now 'cause I'm not a monster, I'm a man. If I get you, not a monster, I'm a man. If I get you.
They got a phone number.
So you're gonna call, see if this is
Say, hey.
actual true?
I said, what's this extension? I want an extension. If I don't pay my taxes by March 11th, they put up my building for public sale.
Okay, yeah, but she told me to pick it up at City Hall, not at Impact. So you do have the paperwork there. Did she send along a copy of the email?
Yes, on the back of that page.
Thank you so much. Is it a matter of incompetence, or is it they're purposefully misleading? I don't know. Maybe they take a course in how to be purposefully misleading and make it appear like they're incompetent. I don't know.
Come forward to the presentation table. Please state your name, your mailing address and postal code, and the property affected by this application.
My name is John Newton. My postal address
is 179-181 East Main Street, Welland, Ontario, L3B 3W7. The affected property's address is 224 Major Street.
Thank you very much. State the nature of your objection.
I oppose the contention by MPAC, their recommendation that no recommendation is made stating that no renovations preventing normal use, further not considered substantially unusable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Turns out they've been charging me taxes on a building that I don't own, which has raised my taxes. And now they say they're going to try to straighten it up really quick. Oops. They weren't even aware that I had fires here. And this is MPAC, who's supposed to be assessing my property. And I contacted them after I had the fires last year, asking for a reduction in my taxes. And they came back and said, oh no, you don't need any renovations there. The building's not substantially unusable. And I'm thinking, whose building are they looking at? Because this building here is missing walls, windows, about 3,000. All the copper, no heat, no hydro, no plumbing, no water. And they figure it's usable? For what? But, good news, MPAC might, because I'm living here, charge me residential tax rates. Without changing the zoning, the taxes will only be residential and the zoning will remain heavy industrial, which is super cool. But the city will probably be real pissed.
Across the water and past the sea, there lies a land where we could be. The streets are paved out of gold, and all your dreams have been foretold. 'Cause you could be amongst the men who raised the land from wilderness, and you could take what you could keep, and you could save upon this dream. Yes, you could save upon this dream.
60,000 square feet, 5 acres, and right in the center of Welland.
Give me a little history about this place.
Built in 1942, this particular building. This company started up in 1928. This particular building was built in 1942, the first section. Second section was added on in 1957, and the last part was put on in 1975. When they first started up, they were building munitions for the king. The contract was actually not with the Canadian government or any company, but directly with the King of England. They built muzzles for, I guess, artillery, large muzzles. And it was a specialty steel company. These buildings were later purposed as the machine shop and maintenance shop for the Atlas Steel plant, which is a big plant, about 500 acres. And had 3,000 employees. At its peak, in this building, there was over 300 employees. The floor is in pretty good shape. The floor is in best shape upstairs in the woodworking shop. And then there's another room down here, but the idea for this space, I was going to galleryfy this, clear off the walls. These bricks, they get a coat of paint because they're cinder block. The bricks on the outside would just get cleaned off because they're ceramic and they look sharp like that. Then put paintings along here. All these electrical panels I can remove.
What do you think? Like how long, I mean it's an ongoing project, but how long do you think this would take to?
On my own or with help?
let's start with by yourself.
On my own, about 3 years.
With
3
help,
by 1 year. 1 year to have the place, all the windows fixed, the broken walls fixed.
Is it delusional or could it be true? Is it delusional or could it be true?
Picked up the Commercial Trader, which is a real estate rag for commercial real estate. And I found this place listed for $450,000, but it was 60,000 square feet. That's a lot of square footage. So I made an offer of $150,000, and within a month, I had bought it for $250,000, which was all the money that I had saved up. Well, I had another $50K on top of that. I had saved up $300K. Made the money by going to garage sales, going to dumpsters, not going to restaurants. The only thing that I buy that's new is food and toilet paper.
I like Mr. Christie's too. I like Mr. Christie's. I like Oreo cookies and milk, and I like Mr. Christie's too. This guy is crazy. He really is.
Everything else is pretty much used. The clothes that I wear, the chairs that I sit in. And I stretch a penny a long way. So, bought the place, and then I had to figure out how to move from Sudbury to there. It's a big trip. So I bought 4 school buses from a school bus company in Sudbury for like $1,500 a piece. It was cheaper than trailers. Took out the seats, filled them up, and so far I've brought down 6 loads with the school bus. My blue van, I brought 6 loads down with it, and I still have half my stuff up north. I tended to buy in bulk. How much for everything? I'd hit about 100 garage sales in a weekend. Mostly I concentrated on gold and silver. For a while I was selling the stuff on eBay and at the Showcase Antique Mall in Toronto. The Showcase Antique Mall in Toronto, I was making a fair buck there. eBay I was making okay. But all the money I saved up so I could buy the school. And then after the school, I did the same thing, saved up my money, and bought this place.
Underneath the skin, we're part of a greater kin. We're all brothers, we're all sisters. Underneath the skin, we're part of a greater kin. Won't you lend a hand, oh brothers? Won't you lend a hand, oh sisters? 'Cause in the end, oh brothers and sisters, it's all for one. for all. Underneath the skin, we're part of a greater kin. We're part of a greater kin. We're part of a greater kin. We're part of a greater kin.